If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone. And if you're craving a taste of Italy, come experience delicious Italian cuisine and the attentive service at Don Vito's. Our culinary team starts with the freshest ingredients and transforms them into traditional favorites. And don't forget Italian desserts. Don Vito's. Savor the taste of Italy. Finally, if sushi is more your style, join us at the popular Zenshin Asian restaurant and sushi bar, where we're serving up the freshest sashimi, nigiri, and sushi rolls. And beyond the sushi, an exciting contemporary Asian cuisine menu. Plus a variety of specialty drinks, Japanese and domestic beer, wine, and sake. Balance your hunger with Zenshin.
Welcome back in, everybody, to another fantastic season of course, everybody's favorite gambling show and NASCAR, Gaughan Racin. Mr. Motley, still with us. Brendan Gaughan, still with us. They haven't fired us yet. Still have no clue how SiriusXM or even South Point Studio hasn't fired us.
Yeah, that's probably a really good point. We are definitely a testament to longevity here. Eighth season.
Listen,
eighth season we start doing the show.
And look, if you talk about how well we do on the show, I mean, we absolutely deserve it. But if you talk about the professionally unprofessional, which has become our moniker and our tagline, we definitely dominate that also.
We do that very well. Somebody did a little better at picking last year than somebody else.
Who did better?
I'll give you your pat on the back now.
Do I get to start now?
I want to get out in front of it, give you that pat on the back from last year, and then tell you that last year's in the rearview mirror. Joey Logano's trying to win the championship again. He's not thinking about last year.
No, last year's not in the rearview mirror. No. Nowhere near the rearview mirror.
Remember all the smack talking that the pit crew did the year before?
I had 107 points last year.
You did.
107 points.
You really think you're going to duplicate that this year?
My Mendoza line's 100, baby. I'm going for the 100. I'm going for triple digits again. Back-to-back seasons. That's what I'm talking about.
We all had good years last year, which is really good for our listeners and our viewers, which is the most important thing.
We did have great. I mean, look, if you're following us and you're actually betting, which is what this is about. This isn't fantasy. This isn't about anything else. This is about NASCAR and betting. And if you followed, even the pit crew had positive numbers last year. I mean, this is absolutely we do what we do here, and we don't do it half bad. And you would have made a lot of money on us. And we made enough money last year betting. We got ourselves a new studio.
A new desk here. It looks like the world's largest blackjack table. How would you like to be a dealer at this blackjack table?
You'd have to be moving quite a bit to reach this one.
You need like Shaquille O'Neal to be able to deal.
I think this might be longer than Shaquille O'Neal even, but looks nice. We got the brand new set. I think they just actually got it in last week. So for those on SiriusXM, yeah, that doesn't quite work for you. For those on we now South Point, there's South Point Studio YouTube channel, and of course there is now the South Point Gaughan Racin YouTube channel,
which I put on my Facebook page. Go to my Facebook page. You can subscribe to it through there. Come on.
I have not posted the link yet. Sorry to Ann and the folks who do a great job behind the desk. I did not post that out yet. I will promise to. I followed it.
You've been too busy selling cleaning products and moonshine.
Listen, it's been busy. We got the Daytona 500 right now. Of course, the director of race operations for Beard Motorsports, which is sitting right here
in Las Vegas,
you, which means I am not doing my job very well for the Beards. But we'll get to that in a second. Let's do a quick recap Last year, of course, Joey Logano, his third championship for Joey, the third in a row for Roger Penske. Kind of that's a big deal. We have not talked about Penske all season long, but when it comes down to championships, the Penske group is absolutely the one to beat.
Yeah, they really seem to be able to turn it on late. I mean, we saw that with Ryan Blaney the year before, and we saw that with Joey Logano last year. I mean, these guys it seems like they are building their season up for that, because we've literally 2 years in a row, somewhere around the summer, we're like, what's wrong with the Penske cars?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like they've just geared themselves up for the stretch run. Like, look, let's just get in the playoffs, then we'll do our damage.
Well, and you talk about the start of the season, William Byron, 3 of the first 8 races, huge start. We talked about Byron right off the bat being, the guy that was one to beat for the whole year, won the Daytona 500, won a bunch of races, and still did great. Just not there the whole time like the Penske group, which comes on in the end. You got Brad Keselowski, got himself back into victory lane, which that was a big deal, having Brad finally get back. He owns RFK. He is the K, of course. So to have him back in victory lane, that was kind of a nice deal. Ended a couple-year drought that he hadn't been there, and, with his part-time ownership there. Harrison Burton.
More than Harrison Burton, the Wood brothers got back to victory lane. He wins a race and loses his job, but...
And look, they talk about Harrison Burton winning, but really that, to me and you, that is the Woods brothers getting back there, which is a Penske car.
I believe that was their 100th career.
Yes, it was.
100th? Was it the 100th win for the Wood brothers?
Yes, it was. It was. I think it was.
It was a milestone victory, I believe. I can't remember exactly which one it was.
And they did. He did it as a walk-off to make the playoffs for the Woods brothers. Of course, he had already not been told he wasn't coming back. Expect big things out of Josh Berry over there this year in that car. And of course, we talked about Joey Logano's 3rd championship. So a lot of changes this year. Really odd too. It's tough for me to keep up. Let's try to quickly get through this, Jeff. Joe Gibbs Racing, pretty much the same. All you got now is one new face in a new place. Chase Briscoe in Martin Truex's old 19.
But I think that's the biggest move of the offseason right there, because I am expecting big things from Chase Briscoe.
That's the one that when we get to some of our things in the end here that I'm expecting big things from. I think Briscoe going to have a breakout season. I really think he's going to be fantastic this year. Front Row Motorsports, Zane Smith now taking over for Michael McDowell. Noah Gregson is now over there in the 4 and bringing the 4 number from Stuart Haas to Front Row. It's going to be very tough for me to keep up with some of these this year.
It's 2 guys with Vegas ties. Noah, obviously from here. Zane grew up racing out at the Bull Ring, so get a couple of Las Vegas guys over there with Front Row Motorsports. So kind of cool to
big time Herbst family with Zane Smith. So.
Absolutely, yes.
RFK Racing got the number 60 back, racing again with Ryan Preece. So Ryan expecting some big things for Ryan this year out of that deal.
Yeah, we'll see how that works. That's a 3rd team now. That's an expansion for Brad Keselowski and that group over there. And they've done a really solid job of the last couple of years, seeing how Chris Buescher's come along,
chipping the way back up.
Right.
I think that could be a pretty good deal for them to have Ryan over there. I think a lot of Ryan. I think he brings a lot of smarts to his game. Spire Motorsports, which we expected big things out of Corey LaJoie last year, didn't seem to get over that hump like we expected. They bring in Michael McDowell, and they bring in Michael McDowell's crew chief. So Michael and his crew chief went to Spire together. You got Rodney Childers over there.
I was going to say, that's the biggest deal. That's bigger than either driver to me at Spire
Michael
Motorsports.
McDowell and his crew chief, they've won races every year the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, well, you keep that team together, but I just think Rodney Childers coming over there,
that could be a big deal for Spire. Rick Ware, Cody Ware is back competing for the 51. We won't get into all those things, but Cody is back driving for his family team. So, and they've got all the Ware deal with all their charters and how they.
And then you never know who's going to be in the 15 car from week to week.
It's kind of funny over there. Colleague Racing. Brand new lineup again this year. AJ Allmendinger returns to the driver's seat for Colleague.
He's like on a up and down. He's like that minor league baseball player to major leagues and minor leagues, up and down, up and down.
That's tough, dude. It's tough mentally, and AJ does a good job now of keeping that together. But they also got Ty Dillon coming back over there after a couple, seasons that were not up to Ty Dillon's, I think level. Hopefully Ty can do well over there at Colleague, which of course is an RCR affiliated team. So there's a big tie right there. 2311. That's the one. There's still a lot of uncertainty. Should have mentioned this at Front Row too. There's still the lawsuits going on. There's still all these things, but they were able to get the injunction. They go down the road. They have their charters for right now. They expanded, though.
And they're good through the year.
They're good for the year.
So I don't really think you're going to see the lawsuit have much of an effect on them.
We'll see what it does to Denny, honestly. I'm more interested in what it does to Denny Hamlin than it does to the team. But they gain, of course, Riley Herbst, our guy Riley, in the 35. Monster Energy for them in a third charter. They expanded to a third team, so big news for them. What else we got here? We got Trackhouse Racing. They added SVG full-time. Tell you what, you want to talk about a meteoric rise.
Well, and I also think you're talking about a car that I think you're almost guaranteed into the playoffs. I mean, and nothing's a guarantee. We know nothing's a guarantee. But if you tell me the odds on Van Gisbergen winning one of those road course races,
Mexico City or Chicago
or Sonoma,
but I mean,
and I think Watkins Glen's not in the playoffs this coming year, right?
But if you take the two that are outside, for sure, you got Mexico City and you've got and Coda.
Oh, and Coda.
Sorry, you got Coda, Mexico City, and Chicago. 3 races that are like I've said, more geared towards an SVG. I think that's a huge deal. I think that is kind of a lock
Henny went
for
and spanked
playoff.
him at Watkins Glen last year too, and I mean, so he's anything where you got to turn left and right. He's the guy I'm betting on.
And then, of course, we talked about at the start of the show, Josh Berry over now in the 21 for the Woods Brothers. The famous Woods Brothers car is back out there, so kind of a neat deal. Really excited about that. That's news. Now, here's a big thing. We're going to touch it quick here because we'll be betting on it later this year. I barely know anything about it. We have the new in-season tournament. They want to do a NCAA March Madness style tournament in season. There's 3 races for seeding: Michigan, Mexico City, Pocono. They determine a 32 driver field. Then they go head to head. Basically, think number 1 versus number 32, 2 versus 31, blah blah blah, until you get to a championship round.
It's a 5-race deal. All 5 races are on the Turner Family Network, so TNT.
So they're
it's kind of like that's the
tournament.
TNT has the in-season tournament, kind of like the NBA did their in-season tournament. You know, they've been doing that for the last couple of years now, so kind of similar.
Hopefully we'll see how it goes. 2 drivers, but for $1 million. So it's a $1 million deal, and of course we'll probably have we'll change up our betting odds once we get in here.
And one thing that's going to be really cool when we get to that though is take a guy like Shane Van Gisbergen, right?
One of those races, Chicago.
So keep in mind that Mexico City is one of the 3 qualifying races to get your seeding.
There you go.
All he's got to do is get through Atlanta, and then he's got Chicago and Sonoma. It just could be really, really interesting with a driver like that.
Yep. So that's impressive, and it is all on TNT. Races are Atlanta, Chicago, Sonoma, Dover, and the Brickyard. So it gives a championship race to Indy.
$1 million.
$1 million prize.
$1 million.
That's not too bad. Let's try to get to some of our predictions for this season before we start going on to more things. Which Jeff, there's a lot of predictions here, so this might take more than just kind of our one deal here, but
well, we got a couple of segments to get through.
We got a couple segments
before we get into it, and I hope we have the graphic because I sent all my picks in, but I don't have them in front of me, so I'm hoping that they're going to pop up on the graphic.
I don't think
are they not on the graphic?
Ann right now is very mad back there
that they're not
because I did not send a graphic in because
and I sent mine in and did not write them down here.
So Jeff did it right, I did it wrong, is what we're saying, and Ann right now is giving a look of death.
There's our professionally
that's
our first professionally unprofessional moment of. So do we have mine?
Well, you got an email?
What's that?
We got an email?
Yeah, I sent an email. I think
we'll pull that up.
She can print it out to me.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, look, we got Ann's on camera this year.
Ann is on camera. Look at this.
Another new thing.
She's
this
out
year.
of witness protection.
Witless? Yes.
Witless?
Yes, Ann.
Oh. Yeah.
Hi, darling.
I was just saying hi.
Hi. I didn't know Ann would come on this year, or else we would have done a little more of this right there.
Absolutely.
That everybody, is the world infamous Ann Goldstone.
And
of course,
she's going to be in all the outtakes now.
But she gets to be in lots of stuff.
She'll be in all the outtakes.
If now that we know she's going to actually like chime in and actually talk, where's that camera? Is that like on top of her? Right there. All right.
But I remember most of my predictions anyway, since I did just send them in this morning.
We'll get it for you. We'll get that emailed so you can have it.
Okay.
We'll look at it. So, guys, there's the new stuff for this season. When we come back, we're going to give you some of our bold predictions, which I have a few bold predictions, and we'll get to those, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rockin' dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grandview Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show. Every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grandview Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grandview Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby. South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Welcome back in, Gaughan Racin, section number 2, segment.
Well, look,
section.
I didn't even know what time it was.
That's true. Segment number 2 of Gaughan Racin. Welcome back to the professionally unprofessional. Brennan Gaughan, Jeff Motley, South Point Studio, here hanging out, getting everything ready for the 2025 NASCAR Cup Series season.
Cars are already on track at Daytona.
That's right. Cars are on track. We already had qualifying last night. We got the duels tonight. So lots of cool stuff going on.
Now, if you're listening on Sirius XM, the duels are over.
Very true. I guess I kind of blew that for Sirius. Sorry, Maz and Dom.
Well, they know we record the show. We try to tell everybody we record on Thursday.
Which is why when we get to the betting segments, we always tell everybody you might want to wait a little bit longer just to double check. A couple odds may get better, may get worse. Somebody may have blown up in qualifying, and we picked them to win, which makes it a little more difficult. So just everybody remember that. Let's talk about bold predictions for this year. Since last year we had such an amazing year. Neither of us picked the champion, by the way. But we did have a great year of picking bets. But let's talk about, we do this every year this time, so we can, at the end of the year, kind of come back and say, did we do well or not? And last year, I believe I had the worst prediction, which was that my disappointing driver was going to be...
Whoever it was actually won a lot of races.
It was Martin Truex Jr. He won a few races. But then he got disappointing at the end. So first, though, we're going to talk about driver with the most wins. Mr. Motley, I'll lead this one off. Driver with the most wins for me is the guy I think I had last year, if you want the truth, Kyle Larson. I'm saying 7 wins this year.
Well, I wish I could tell you I'm going out on a limb, but I'm also going Kyle Larson, but I only have 6 wins. So we have a little bit, but that's not much difference. That's splitting hairs. But yeah, I like Kyle Larson. I just think the thing about Kyle Larson, he's good everywhere.
Well, Kyle Larson and if you look right now, just coming off the Chili Bowl, Kyle Larson's got his little race series. Kyle is doing the stuff that makes Kyle happy. And Kyle looks I think he's feeling good. I think he's ready to go. I think Hendrick, of course, is still the team to beat. So even though Penske wins the championships, Hendrick is absolutely, to me, the team to beat. And I think Kyle Larson winning 7 wins or 6 wins, both of us right there. So that's not a terrible one. Disappointing driver of the year, which is, I've been kind of bad the last couple of years, so I'm going to let you lead off on the disappointing side.
Well, I hate to say this because I really like this guy, but the guy I'm really not expecting much out of this year is Alex Bowman. And the reason I say that is, they won that race in Chicago because everything kind of fell their way, and then they actually were doing okay in the playoffs. Remember, we got the big disqualification, knocked them out of the playoffs. And I don't know, it just seems like the other Hendrick cars are ahead of that team over there. And I like Alex, I really do. But
to me, the word disappointing is where
he made the playoffs last year.
But is it disappointing by a Hendrick standard or disappointing by the overall standard?
Maybe it's a Hendrick standard.
I think that's the problem we get with Alex Bowman. They've already talked about there's already rumors that he's going to be replaced at the end of the year. That's already starting.
And that can be both motivating and it can be debilitating. Exactly.
But it's like that's why I thought about Bowman. But then I said, man, I looked at his stats last year. He wasn't terrible. People made it out like he was awful. I'd kill for that disappointing season.
He really did have a little shot in the arm by getting that win in Chicago for a couple of months there. And again, that disqualification, and that wasn't his fault.
No,
that was just a death sentence to that team.
To me, and this has nothing to do. I know people are going to say when I say this, they're going to accuse me of certain things. Ross Chastain. To me, that Trackhouse team, an amazing freshman, and call it disappointing team. Trackhouse had that amazing freshman year, right? Ross Chastain came out, he won 4 wins that year or something like that, made it to the championship 4. Oh my God, we were talking about this meteoric rise of Trackhouse. Sophomore year,
Sophomore slump.
Do they come back with the junior comeback? I don't know. SVG, I think, like we've talked with the road course wins, I think that could be a big deal right there. But I just, right now, they've been slowly slumping, and we didn't see them really turning that around. And I think people expect a lot. And I think now with 23-11 with a 4th team, with Spire, with Rodney Childers over there, some of the other changes, I'm a little nervous for the whole Trackhouse organization. So Ross is on that for me. Breakout driver, I'm kind of copping out on this one. Tyler Reddick.
See, to me, Tyler Reddick
is that a breakout?
there.
Does that not count?
I don't know. I don't know. But you're allowed to your opinion. I think he's kind of already arrived.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. Do I need to have a better pick? Because I have another pick for breakout.
Yeah, I mean, but it's up to you. If you want to go with Tyler Reddick, then you can go with but I don't know what defines breaking out for him. Does that mean he wins 6 or 7 races?
That's where I'm going is.
Is he in the final 4? Does that because if he wins a couple of races and makes it through one round of the playoffs and then gets eliminated, I don't call that breaking out.
See, and that's my thing is Tyler Reddick is a guy that we've talked about so much about, and he's winning races and he's been great, this and that. So I was worried about that. So I had a Josh Berry written. Like as a
that would definitely, if he has a great year, that's definitely a breakout.
And a breakout for him would be 1-2 wins, and that's
making the playoffs, and
exactly.
Absolutely.
But so I'm going to stick with the Reddick because even though it's kind of an asterisk type thing there with but Josh Berry was kind of my first choice. But I go, well, I really expect big things out of Reddick this year.
Well, my breakout driver, and I thought about this earlier this week. Okay. I did not come up with this morning or last night, but my breakout driver is Chase Briscoe. I think him going over to Joe Gibbs Racing, I think he is going to be a championship contender. I mean, I will not be shocked to see him go to Phoenix in the Final 4. I really, really think he has a chance to have a great, great year.
And I said that in the first segment. I said I expect big things out of Chase Briscoe, and I do. I absolutely do. That was an easy choice. But I do think that Chase Briscoe is going to have a stellar year over there in that 19 car with that team. I think that's going to be pretty bad to the bone. Rookie of the year, look, I'm going to say that I am not a normal member of the media. I am a man in Las Vegas that is born and raised here, that grew up with a certain young man's grandfather as one of my heroes and greatest friends, and his father is best friends with our family, and we've been around together. So if I did not say Riley Herbst, I believe I would be disowned and never be allowed to go buy gas at Turbo Herbst gas station again.
Well, I'm going to tell you, they'll take your money regardless.
Yeah, I think Troy would kick me out.
Troy will take your money.
He'll kick me out.
Now, I want to preface this. I'm with you. My heart is with Riley. I want Riley to win it. And I honestly think that when you add up the points at the end of the year, I think Riley is going to have more points. But the way that Rookie of the Year is calculated,
it's not the old way when I was
it's based on on the standings,
yes,
not on the points. SVG is going to win a couple of races on road courses. I really do believe that. And I think it's going to be hard for Riley to get to victory lane unless, in the first year, unless he pulls off something at a Daytona or Talladega. Now, if that happens, then it's on. So I think my head says it's SVG because I think he's going to win a couple of road course races, and that is going to put him ahead of Riley in the standings to win Rookie of the Year, even though I don't think he will outpoint him.
Troy Herbst, that was Jeff Motley talking. Jeff Motley of the Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
But I think I explained myself.
Brendan Gaughan. Oh, they have your predictions up now, too, for you.
I'm rooting for Riley. I'm rooting for Riley.
All right, now let's quickly try to go through
team wins.
We got the team wins. So here's what I got. Hendrick Motorsports with 13. Penske with 6. Joe Gibbs with 8. RCR, I say, is back in the winners column with 3. I got a 0 for Trackhouse and 23-11 with 5 wins this year.
So you say Shane Van Gisbergen does not win a race?
Well, when I did the math, I was there at, I had one originally for Trackhouse because of that, but I think that 23-11 is going to win 5.
And did your numbers add up to 36?
Yes, they did add up to 36.
Well,
I don't think there's going to be an outlier. I don't think there's going to be a Daytona or not. But I couldn't go 38 wins. I mean,
well, I'm not terribly far off you in some of these here, but I've got Hendrick at 9. I've got Penske at 6, Gibbs at 10, Childress at 1, Trackhouse at 4, because I think SVG is going to win 2 or 3 road courses. And I think Chastain or Suarez will find victory lane somewhere. I got 23-11 with 4 wins, and that only equals 34 because I've got wins. 2 others. And I think with the 2 Atlantas, the 2 Daytonas, 2 Talladegas, I will not be surprised at all to see a Noah Gragson or a Josh Berry or somebody like that pull one of those races
I
off.
didn't have any.
Or Michael McDowell.
I didn't have any front row in there. I didn't have any RFK in there.
Spire. And I think Spire's going to find victory lane.
I don't know if they're ready that.
But we got Michael McDowell and Rodney Childress.
I believe in Rodney.
Yep.
I do, absolutely. All right, let's do, so this will take a minute to get through. So, guys, we're going to try to do this quickly. We're going to give you round of 16, Final 4, and a champion. So, no round of 8, just round of 16. Who makes the playoffs? Me, I'm going all 4 Hendrick teams, Jeff, Byron, Bowman, Larson, Elliott. I'm going all 4 of the Gibbs cars with Denny, Briscoe, Gibbs, and Bell. And then I'm adding Reddick in there as a Gibbs car, kind of. There's 9. Then I got Blaney and Logano. I've got Kyle Busch. And then I've got outliers. I got another Penske car with Cindric. I do have SVG, even though I got Trackhouse not winning. I have SVG in the playoffs.
That's quite conflicting.
Hey, listen, I'm allowed to do that. And then I got Bubba and Chris Buescher as my bottom 2 holes into the playoffs. I think Bubba's going to have a good year and make the playoffs this year.
I'm trying to figure out where we went different because I believe. Well, I'll read mine off, and then we can try to compare. So I'm with you on the Hendrick cars. I got Byron Elliott, Larson, Bowman. I'm going Denny Hamlin and Chase Briscoe and Christopher Bell. So I have, but I don't have Ty Gibbs.
Okay.
I don't have Ty Gibbs in there. I'm going Logano and Blaney. I'm going SVG, Buescher, Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Reddick, and Wallace. So I don't know. I think Gibbs is the only one you had that I think we're right. We're agreeing on 15 of 16. I don't know which one I had that you don't. Is it Keselowski?
I had Cindric, and I didn't have Keselowski.
But you also said Gibbs.
I had Gibbs.
So there's somebody else.
Somebody else in there.
Somebody else in there.
Yeah,
that we'll let
Ann
Briscoe.
Figure that
did
out.
you have Briscoe in there?
Yes, I did have Briscoe in there.
Okay. All right, we'll figure it out what it is. And then my final 4, I'll throw those out real quick. And I really probably should have put Byron in here so I'd have all B's. But I'm going Briscoe, Bell, Larson, and Blaney in my final 4 with Larson winning it all.
All right. I got in my final 4 Larson, Reddick, Logano, and Bell. And I'm still going down with Kyle Larson. I think Kyle Larson.
So we both picked Kyle Larson to win it all. How about that, Kyle? Pressure's on, buddy.
Kyle Larson is. I'm telling you. I think Kyle Larson is until Kyle Larson cools off in this world of NASCAR racing. Kyle Larson is 100% my choice every year right now. I mean, he is. It doesn't matter what he's racing. IndyCar, NASCAR, whatever. Kyle Larson is by far the favorite just about everywhere you go in whatever he's racing.
Well, and I think that's the great thing about Kyle Larson is it doesn't matter what type of racetrack you're on either. He's good on road courses. He's good on the super speedways, the short tracks. I mean, there's nowhere he's going to go and not be a factor to win.
Kyle, you wanted to go drive the Baja 1000. I'm always available. I'd love to have
He's even bringing his dirt cars out to Vegas to run
They're
the limit.
South Point's the
or high
hotel.
limit. High limit.
All right, guys, when we come back, we're going to actually get into the Daytona 500 for the 2025 season. See you in a sec.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside. Or maybe you're in the mood for seafood. Big Sur Oyster Bar has fresh seafood prepared right before your eyes. Savor freshly shucked oysters, crab legs jambalaya, shrimp and lobster. Beers on tap and a selection of fine wines are perfect to pair with your seafood favorite. Whether lunch or dinner, you'll love this fun atmosphere, located just off the casino floor. Ready to shake things up? Step back in time and treat yourself to one of the oldest restaurant chains in the country. Steak and Shake, famous for original mouth-watering steak burgers and hand-dipped milkshakes in a variety of flavors. For some old-fashioned fun, try Steak and Shake.
And today, just so everybody knows, today is Mr. Jeff Motley's birthday.
Hey, beats not having one.
It beats the alternative. Mr. Jeff Motley is oh, there it is. Happy for those on the South Point studio or the Gaughan Racin YouTube channel. Happy birthday, Mr. Motley.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's another loop around the sun. Let's keep having many more of them.
That's the goal, is to keep
I
having
think somebody later this year has a very special milestone
I
birthday
have no
coming
clue what
up.
you're talking about. I think we're going to start talking about
The great thing is your birthday is all over Wikipedia. It's easy to find. So, you know.
Yeah, no, and just since we're talking about the South Point studio and of course the Gaughan Racin YouTube channel, we did have Joey B just chimed in, asked a couple questions, Jeff. First, he's asking, do we think NASCAR is getting too gimmicky with like the LA Coliseum and Bowman Gray? And here's what, Joey, my answer is, those are gimmick races. All right,
Yeah, I mean they're exhibitions. They're not points
exhibition races. They are meant to be gimmicks, and so they absolutely are. And I think I loved Bowman Gray this year. I thought it was super cool being at Bowman Gray, just knowing the history.
I don't think it's any different than these other sports leagues. They're all-star games, things like that are a bit gimmicky. It's fine.
So I don't mind that.
It's fine.
And then the other thing he says, he doesn't like stage racing, line them up and race. I used to agree with you until I saw how well stage racing works and the way the points give out and the cautions that it gives automatic. The day of them throwing the debris caution that really isn't there and those things, they've had to do away with. So I do like the stage racing now. Sorry, Joey, I disagree on that one.
And it also gives us more green flag laps on television.
Yes.
Because it gives TV an opportunity to go to break for 3 or 4 minutes.
And I don't think it artificially does anything to the race. It actually does less artificial because now you don't have NASCAR playing the
and
games.
you plan for them. Mm-hmm. But you know the break is coming, so you race to the break. So everybody's playing by the same set of rules.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into this season now. Now that we got all that done, all the outside stuff. Now we're in the Daytona 500. Let's get to the stuff that we're busy talking about. The season schedule this year. We're kicking off, of course, Daytona 500 down in Daytona. You go in next to the Better Hell 400 at Atlanta. Restrictor plate to start the season, Jeff. Then you go to Circuit of the Americas is third. That is so weird that the third race of the year.
It's always been here. Always been here in Las Vegas where we are.
So odd that they're doing a road course right off the bat. Then you go down to Phoenix, March 9th, and then, of course, March 16th, the Pennzoil 400 here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. So a little different on the start of the schedule this year, a little bit different lineup. Road course racing super early. Let's talk about guys that are great at Daytona. Of course, when you talk Daytona, you got to start right out with Denny Hamlin. The most starts with 38 right there, 12 top 10s in 38 races, 3 wins. That is by far, the leader in the clubhouse in this field this year.
Well, I think anytime you go to the Daytona 500, the 11 car is the one everybody looks at in the garage and says that's the one we've got to beat. I mean, he has. It's funny. Sometimes we give Denny a hard time for some of the mistakes maybe he makes when you don't understand why, or the crew makes you don't understand why. Dude, when he goes to a place like Daytona, he is always mistake free. He's on it. He just is on it all the time.
But look at Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with the 2 wins. That's his one hit. We always talk about Ricky during the restrictor plate races. Austin Dillon, 9 top 10s in 23 races. There's some guys that are actually really, really good here when you look at the number of races to the number of starts. So this is a place, as you like to say, it's a crapshoot. And I always look at you and say, you don't get odds like that if it's just a straight crapshoot. Some guys are just flat out good here.
Well, and you're right. And there's definitely one of those situations where you've got guys that they're going to be consistent. But what I also say that I look at the Daytona 500 and I see, Derek Cope won the Daytona. Michael McDowell's won the Daytona 500. I mean,
I'd love to put my name on that.
I understand that. I understand it.
Anthony Alfredo win the Daytona 500.
That
Fast pasta.
Fast pasta. Hope he's really fast.
So do I. All right, let's talk about the odds to win this race. Let's get into the nitty gritty here, what we do on the show. For those that don't remember, guys, we normally do wins, we do top threes, we do our group matchups and our head-to-heads. Those are the 4 ways we bet here on Gaughan Racin. This is betting, not fantasy. So we're going to kick off right now with the odds.
Head-to-heads are worthless at Daytona.
And head-to-heads, we all know this.
We'll spend about
anybody
2
that knows
seconds
Gaughan Racin, listen to us on SiriusXM the last couple of years knows head-to-heads and restrictor plate, not a lot of fun. We can always make up time in the show by glancing over those today. Ryan Blaney, nobody single digit. It is the Daytona 500, so you're not going to see much single digit odds. We're guaranteed a double digit guy to start the season. Ryan Blaney, Brad Kay, and Joey Logano both at 12-1. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, I think that's amusing. Kyle Busch 14-1. Chris Buescher 15. William Byron, Chase Elliott 16. Austin Cindric, Bubba Wallace, Kyle Larson at 18. Christopher Bell, Michael McDowell, Ross Chastain at 20. Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe round out the first page at 25-1. As you and I both know, a lot of guys can win this.
There are. I think the fact that Hamlin is not listed as the favorite here is a little bit surprising to me. I think I would probably put Denny as the favorite at 14-1.
Close, 12, 14.
You got another guy here at 20-1 who's won this. Michael McDowell, who
new team, had a great qualifying run. He was fast in qualifying, Jeff.
Everything about that team knows how to get around this racetrack. And I think one of the things, the Toyotas have added to their lineup this year.
Toyotas look strong. Toyota's never qualified well at Daytona. Toyota's had, and they've got 5 extra vehicles this year than they've ever had. So, that's a lot more vehicles than they've ever had in the race.
Exactly, and I think that's probably going to help them, although maybe we remember, what was it, last year that they took each other out? Yeah, that was not good.
That was the worst day in Toyota
Poor
TRD's
David
history.
Wilson. They drove him into retirement. I love David. David's one of my favorite guys.
A lot of those guys. That was funny as hell. Here, let's get to the second page, because here's what I'm interested in. Look at some of these names on the second page. Ty Gibbs, 30-1. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., cough, cough, 30-1. Then you got Ryan Preece, Josh Berry, Noah Gragson, Martin Truex Jr., Daniel Suarez, and cough, cough, Austin Dillon, 40-1.
And this might be Martin Truex Jr.'s only Cup race this year.
Justin Haley, Riley Herbst, AJ Allmendinger at 50, Carson Hocevar, Eric Jones at 60, and a field bet is 20-1. I did win a field bet. I think it was Daytona when I had Harrison Burton in the field. I won that. So a field bet here, also not terrible when you look at some of the names.
Elio Castro Neves. Jimmy Johnson, and look, Jimmy doesn't run well on these mile and a half. Daytona,
there's the difference. There's some big names in here in the field that could be something to talk about, Jeff.
There's a couple names here. One who I think is very good on this type of racing, even though what we think of him more is of a road course racer, and that's AJ Allmendinger at 50-1, which I think is a great number. And the other guy on here, and I didn't put him down as my breakout driver, but I will not be shocked if this guy does a lot more than anybody expects, and that's Carson Hocevar. Because I thought Carson Hocevar did great last year. He surprised the heck out of me last year. He's 60-1
right there, and Hocevar did a great job. Was one of the nicest surprises of the season.
And he has now earned some respect out there. And so, as you know, when you go to Daytona and Talladega, if you don't have the respect of some of the veteran drivers, no one's going to help you in the final 2 or 3 laps. I think he's earned some respect out there, and I think he's got guys that will draft with him.
Absolutely has, and that leaves 8 drivers, Jeff, in the field. 8 guys.
And that would be, like I said, we mentioned Jimmy Johnson, Elio Castro. Well, actually, be 9 drivers with Elio if he has to take
Corey LaJoie.
Corey LaJoie will be in there. Which has Shane Van Gisbergen.
SVG
will be in that.
There's a lot of guys in that field that are actually pretty darn good that they don't have in here. That would be Zane Smith. I didn't see Zane Smith.
Zane Smith, who looked really good in qualifying. And,
So there's some big ones. Maybe this is a good time to take a field bet on the old Daytona 500 today. Let's get into our
top threes.
Top threes. Thank you very much. I knew I was trying to get there. I was clicking over here. Top 3: Denny Hamlin 260, Chase Elliott 285, Kyle Larson 300, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch 320, Joey Logano 350, Brad Kay 425, William Byron 450, Todd Gilligan 500, Ryan Preece, Bubba Wallace both 550, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick 650s, Chris Buescher, Austin Cindric 700s, Ross Chastain at 800. These are coming from DraftKings, of course. The odds to win are from South Point. once again, you can do the whole teammate theory, right, Jeff? We can do teammates. You pick a couple of the Fords, a couple of the Chevys, or a couple of the Toyotas. You're probably going to get maybe 2 of these things to get you that top 3.
Yeah, top 3s to me are really hard to pick on this kind of racetrack. And I mean, to me, when I look at what the odds are to pick a winner, I think you're better off to literally go out there and try to pick 4 or 5 winners. At 12-1 to 14-1 to 20-1 than really trying to pick a top 3 at a plus 260 or a plus 320 or plus 425. So, I mean, we can go through these names out here and everything, but I just don't know. Like, you are not going to see me picking a top 3.
Okay. I might have.
Maybe that's why I didn't win this thing last year.
I'm just saying I have 100 units. I just, whatever.
And maybe you're not. Who knows? I mean, we'll wait and find out.
Second page, Alex Bowman is also 800. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Michael McDowell and Josh Berry all at 900. Where am I at here? Justin Allgaier, 10-1. Chase Briscoe, 11-1. Ty Gibbs, 12-1. Daniel Suarez, Austin Dillon, both 12-1. Martin Truex Jr., 14. Eric Jones, AJ Allmendinger, Justin Haley, 15. Carson Hocevar, 17. And SVG at 20-1. There are, once again, a lot of, Austin Dillon, 12-1. It's a top 3. You pick him.
And he's very comfortable on these kind of racetracks.
This is his favorite.
Very comfortable.
So, you pick him, you pick a Kyle Busch, and you pick another, Chevy. You got a couple guys right there, even with a double-digit return. You might be able to get a couple of those. I don't dislike that. But it's, like you said, it's not easy. Let's go to head-to-heads and get to that before we go to the break, because we should be able to talk about this very, very quickly. Jeff, any head-to-heads that jump out at you? Is there?
They're so tough because there's not even a plus sign by anybody's name.
Everything on our boards, and these, once again, these come from the Westgate. So this is what we love about the Gaughan Racing. We switch books. We give you lots of different options. You can search where you're trying to go. For those that understand betting, always search, always find the best odd.
If there's one out there, it would be it's a guy that's even money. I kind of like William Byron even money against Chris Buescher at minus 120. If I'm looking for somebody that's getting a little bit of value, but
Kyle Busch, even money over Joey Logano or Brad Keselowski. I actually like Joey Logano better than I like Kyle Busch or Brad Keselowski. So
well, then that's why he's on a minus.
But
right?
but he's even money. He's the favorite. So it's like, dang it, I don't know. Or he is the even money, but I like the favorite there, not the even money bet. So
exactly. That's why William Byron's the only underdog that I see that I'm
shouldn't
like,
be a dog.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't know. That's you got what you got there. I think that's it.
That's why we don't talk about the head-to-heads very long when it comes to
Let's get to Group A before we take break then. Group A, Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, 265. Chris Buescher, 275. And another thing, our group matchups here, folks that follow us know you're going to get pretty tight odds here when it comes to Daytona and Talladega.
Couple of teammates against a couple of teammates.
And remember, we talked
three guys that were all teammates at one time.
And this is where I talk about going teams versus manufacturers. You got a Ford.
Well, and the other problem is whoever's in front late
don't like
is going to stay there.
Don't like Group A at all.
Me either.
That's it. All right, we'll come back. We'll give you the rest of the groups, give you our picks when we return on Gaughan Racing.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world. Our gaming amenities include over 60 table games and over 2,600 of the most popular slot and video poker machines. We have penny slots, including the popular Buffalo games, and real machines like Wheel of Fortune, 777s, and Megabucks. If you prefer video poker, try Deuces Wild, Double Bonus, or a variety of multi-denomination games. Or try your hand at one of the most popular casino table games in the world, Blackjack. Don't let the game intimidate you. Blackjack, also known as 21, is both easy and fun. And our dealers are always happy to assist. And the best part? Blackjack always pays 3 to 2. Next, check out the roulette tables. Roulette is one of the easiest casino games to learn, and so much fun to play. It's a favorite of both beginners and seasoned players. In addition to blackjack and roulette, our casino pit features over 60 popular table games like Baccarat, Pai Gow Poker, 3-Card Poker, Ultimate Texas Hold'em, and Mississippi Stud. So get out of your room and come join in the fun.
Welcome back in. Final segment of Gaughan Racing. Jeff Motley, Brendan Gaughan. We're doing the 2025 Daytona 500 opening race. Fantastic season ready to go. And we, of course, are doing a lot of two shots now, Jeff, because, for those on SiriusXM, you got to go to the YouTube channel, see the pretty new set we got.
It's beautiful, like gigantic blackjack table. Love
Huge blackjack table.
Huge blackjack.
Huge. It's huge. So
The NBA blackjack.
the NBA version of blackjack
Kareem
table.
Abdul blackjack table.
Kareem Abdul blackjack table. Let's get to Group B real quick. We got Kyle Busch, your favorite, at 260. William Byron, Austin Cindric, and Chase Elliott all at 270. I got a Chevy, and a Ford. I got two teammates with Elliott and Byron. I got Kyle Busch, the outlier. So you know what I'm saying? Austin Cindric, the only Ford in the group. He's plus 270. I can differentiate just because of it's a Ford versus 3 Chevys. Not saying I think that Cindric is going to beat them. I'm just saying if you take the way the odds work, I can't pick if 3 Chevys. If all those Chevys are there, whoever's in front is going to stay there. At least I got a shot with the one Ford.
Well, and I see your thinking there. I just think William Byron's really good around this place, and I'm going to go Byron.
I mean, the odds say he's one of the best here. So you're not picking anything that is not a hell of a shot. Let's go to Group C. Denny Hamlin, Michael McDowell, plus 265. Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, 270. I'm going to take the same exact theory I just told you a second ago. I've got Denny Hamlin, Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, all teammates, technically, all in Toyotas, and Michael McDowell, the one outlier. I'm going to stick with Michael McDowell in this group because Michael McDowell is the only one that is not part of that same group. So he's Spire, he's Chevrolet.
Here's the deal. You give me Denny Hamlin in Group C, who is the most successful Daytona racer that's in the field right now. There's no way I'm not taking Denny Hamlin in Group C plus 265. I don't care what he's driving.
And that's also a very valid point. It is Denny Hamlin in Group C. You got C. Bell in there with him. But, the way the wrecks happen here, the way things work, Michael McDowell is the only outlier in that one. Let's go to Group D. Group D, we got Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, Alex Bowman, Ross Chastain. I'm going to give you the same. Sorry, guys, I'm a
You're a broken record, and I'm going right against you each time.
Because Kyle Larson is in a Chevy, Alex Bowman is his teammate in a Chevy, Ross Chastain is in a Chevy, Chase Briscoe is in a Toyota. I'm going to pick Chase Briscoe. I'm going to go opposite of the 3 guys that will all be battling each other for the front spot in that manufacturer group. I'm going to stick with Briscoe.
And I'm going to use my same rationale that I Group C. You give me Kyle Larson in Group D, I'm taking Kyle Larson in Group D. I know Daytona is not much his forte as other tracks, but still, it's Kyle Larson, it's Group D.
I'm not going to disagree with your logic either. That is absolute fantastic logic because it is Kyle Larson in Group D. This might be the only time we see all season long Kyle Larson be in a Group D. Let's go to Group E. We got Ryan Preece, 265, Josh Berry, 265, Tyler Reddick, and Ty Gibbs at 270.
At least you got to change your strategy for once.
So now I have Josh Berry in a Ford, Ryan Preece in a Ford, Tyler Reddick, and Ty Gibbs in Toyotas.
And there's no Chevy. You want to pick the Chevy?
I'll take the Chevy in Group E. Tell me how that works out. So there's my problem in this one, which is, who do you pick? I can't do the teammate thing. I can't pick the one outlier. If I like the guy, it's Group E, and you're giving me Tyler Reddick. I'm going off the Jeff Motley theory. Tyler Reddick in Group E. Yeah, pretty much outclasses. Shouldn't say outclass. I apologize, gentlemen. Just if you talk about performance, Tyler Reddick might be the only time you see Tyler Reddick in Group E all year.
Performance, history, everything else. It's just Tyler Reddick. Now, look, could this be the year Ty Gibbs breaks through? Possibly. Maybe it's Ty Gibbs. I thought it was going to happen last year. In fact, if you told me Harrison Burton was going to get a win before Ty Gibbs, I would have told you were nuts. But yeah, I'm in on Tyler Reddick here. I'm with you.
So then let's get ourselves to Group F, and that is Noah Gragson and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., 265, Daniel Suarez, Todd Gilliland, 270s. Okay, Noah is in now. This is where it gets so tough for me. He's in a front row Ford. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is in the Hayek. We didn't schedule that as one of our changes.
New race team name. It's the same team, just new
JTG
ownership.
is now called Hayek. And then Daniel Suarez in a Trackhouse Chevy, and Todd Gilliland. Todd is in Tricon. He's in the Tricon.
Isn't he teammates with Noah and Zane, right?
No. I thought Todd Gilliland this year was.
I thought there were 3 cars.
Oh no,
over
he's
there.
front row.
Front row.
Yeah,
There's 3 front row Fords, so I know where you're going here.
And I'm going Daniel Suarez.
Well, I'm kind of going back to my theory.
Ricky
I ain't leaving
Stenhouse
Ricky Stenhouse, who's so good at Daytona, out there. So,
well, that was once again kind of.
Well, you and I have just 2 completely different theories. I'm saying I'm taking the driver with the best track record, and you're going with the opposite manufacturer.
Yes. There are 2 different ways to, guys. That's what makes betting so much fun and makes racing so much more fun to watch when you can bet all these different ways. See, perfect, good. Let's get to our one prop bet we always show here. Our winning manufacturer: Chevrolet is plus 135, Ford is plus 140, the Toyota plus 300. That is basically a numbers game. More Chevrolets in the field than there are anything else. But I got to tell you, at the speed I saw for the first time ever out of the Toyotas in qualifying. Toyota has never qualified well at this race. Toyota has never even cared about qualifying well at this race. And this year, Toyota came to play. I like that plus 300.
I love that plus 300. I think that's a great bet right there. I mean, to me, you throw a blanket over these 3 and you're going to give me plus 300 on the Toyota, I'm all in.
So we actually agree on something, Jeff. See?
We agreed on who we thought was going to win the championship even.
We did.
So
it's a lot of kumbaya, a lot of love going on in the studio today. Oh, it's his birthday. Love.
Well, I really
I don't get the heart thing. Dang it. That's only when I'm on.
I don't know. You like Caitlin Clark doing the heart thing. When Caitlin Clark did that all the time. I think.
I tried to be a Gen Z or whatever that is with the heart.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Let's get to all right, guys. We're not going to talk much about championship odds right now. Championship odds, we always talk a lot about them during the season. This is the time you hedge your bet. This is the time you jump on it. You take a hedge on that. But because the way the show started with all the stuff we had to talk about doesn't leave us a lot of time. We will discuss this more in depth next week when we have more time on the show.
Because unless we get some big upset, odds aren't going to
basically the odds are going to stay the same except for one driver. One driver's odds are going to drop.
Unless it's Christopher Bell or Kyle Larson wins the race at Daytona.
They're already there. Noah Gregson's at 100-1. If he wins, guess what? It's going to go down to 40. You lost your chance on that one. But just pay attention, watch that, do that as your hedge. And with that, we will get into our picks, our first set of picks for the 2025 NASCAR season. Woo, yay.
I guess we go off last year.
I think we go off of last year, which we always go worst to first, which means the pit crew has to lead the way. And now that Ann says she will talk and show on to... Oh, she's got to direct. Now she has to direct.
We were kind of admonished with that. I've got to direct. Don't be bothering me right now.
That's right. Well, I mean,
it's like trying to talk to the offensive coordinator and ask him what's he wants on his pizza right as he's trying to call a play. I think.
It sounded very similar to that. I mean, yes. I'll take that. I mean, I apologize, Ann, for interrupting your directorial duties.
I mean, she could have just given us the small symbol.
Gotcha. Well, so the pit crew, who was again positive off of last year. We wish they would have made a graphic for me so I could have bragged a little bit more about my 100 points, but that's okay.
Yes, last year is last year. This is a new year. This is 2025.
So the pit crew's kicking off with a Blaney in Group A. They're not listening to me. They're Elliott in Group B. They're not listening to me. Chris Bell in Group C. They're not listening to me. Kyle Larson in Group D. They're not listening to me. And Tyler Reddick in Group E. They are listening to us.
Okay. I cannot believe I'm going to do...
They went all groups on that one.
Brendan, I cannot believe I'm going to do this. I'm going to take a head-to-head at freaking Daytona.
That's okay. It's still paid. Hey, listen, a W is a W.
A W is a W is a W.
It cashes a ticket.
I'm going to take William Byron, even money, against Chris Buescher in a driver head-to-head. I've got 3 group matchups. I'm going to go William Byron in Group B.
Okay.
Denny Hamlin in Group C. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in Group F, and like we just finished talking about, that plus 300 on Toyota for the manufacturer. Can't let that one go.
Well, you're head-to-head against the pit crew in 2 of your picks, so that's a deal there.
And we agree on none.
See, and I'm going to go a totally different way of you guys. I'm getting out of the group matchups, which is normally our bread and butter. I am going to kick off with a field bet. 20-1 for the field. It's the Daytona 500. Jimmy Johnson is in that field. A front row motorsports.
Elio Castroneves. Could Elio Castroneves do like Mario Andretti and win in his only Indy 500 start?
And is back there. God, I wish somebody else would have had the control to be able to hit the change the camera there. And was given the roll of the dice back there, which, Jeff, we only said crapshoot like twice this whole.
Well, that's three. That's three.
So I'm doing the field at 20-1 because I personally believe that the field bet is. They left me 8 drivers. That's a pretty good number right there if you're talking, 25% of the field. So
and if everybody checks their, doesn't check their brains before they get out there, you never know how many's going to be left. So
then I'm going to take 2 top 3s. I am going to do Christopher Bell and Tyler Reddick. They're both 650 for the top 3. I'm going off the teammate theory that if the Toyotas are running there near the end, that they both could get me something there. I think that's a good deal. I'm going to take one more top 3. I'm taking the long shot of Austin Dillon at 12-1 for a top 3. He does do so well here. They've got a lot of momentum in that team right now, or at least they feel really good starting the season. They showed a lot of speed in qualifying. And then I'm going to jump on that Toyota plus 300. That's plus 300 for a Toyota, even though they have the least numbers. They've got a lot of speed this year. So, Jeff, we packed a lot into this show today.
Yeah, especially considering we're rusty and we haven't done a show in like 3 months.
Are we ever not rusty? Is a question? Like,
well, I tell you, I definitely feel rustier as I'm getting older now. Having another birthday and getting old, I just feel rusty when I wake up in the morning.
What birthday is it?
It's the 7th anniversary of my 50th birthday. Can we say it that way? No, I'm 57 today. Proud of it. I don't feel 57. I hope I don't look 57.
You don't look 57.
So a lot of good years left in me, I hope.
Well,
so
a lot of good years on the racetrack at Daytona this weekend too.
Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend at Daytona. And one thing, if you are in Las Vegas and listening to us, come down here to the South Point on Sunday morning.
South Point Showroom, big watch party.
And we are going to be giving away about, I think, 20 pairs of tickets. And guess who? Yours truly will be emceeing and giving away the tickets. Would you like to come and join me? You're welcome to on Sunday morning.
I will not be here. Doors open at 10 a.m. at the South Point Showroom. We're giving away a $5,000 VIP package to the South Point for 100 from the South Point. Of course, 20 sets of tickets to the Pennzoil 400.
Pennzoil 400
in a couple weeks at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. My man Jeff Motley going to be there doing some emceeing for that. So come on down to the South Point for the big watch party down at the showroom, and always drink specials and all sorts of fun stuff going on in there. And it's a great atmosphere. They got that big, huge TV back there. So
it's one of the greatest weekends of racing. Next to Memorial Day might be my favorite weekend of racing or day, but this is
Daytona 500.
Next.
Pretty big deal. So we appreciate it, guys. That's a kickoff to the 2025 NASCAR season. Thanks for joining us on Gaughan Racing. Thanks for joining in the stream. Hopefully you guys like it. Send a comment, send a like, and SiriusXM, call Maz. Tell him you love us. Talk to you later, guys.